He's here.
Ladies and gentlemen of our wrestling, ponder this for a moment, if you will. Why do you think the many entered into this vessel you see before you right now? Of all the people in the wrestling world, for us to send ourselves to from the man known as Legion Cole, why, oh why, would we ever have chosen a vessel as run down and useless as old Jack Arson, the junkie, the lowlife, the scumbag, the fool? That's the narrative that you have of the man known as Jack Arson. And the many are so very amused by this narrative, this perspective, because it is what he wanted you to feel about him, ladies and gentlemen. He is a manipulator of the cerebral capacity of a man that literally could make you believe the sky was green and the grass is blue, and he could sell you a boat if you were a hydrophobic, simply because he would convince you that as long as you were upon the boat, you need not fear the water. He is literally the embodiment of everything you people said he was in the moment you said it, because that's what he wanted. That's what Jack Arson wanted you to think about him. He wanted you to think that he was so far gone that he could not be saved. He wanted to portray an image of himself from days long gone, going into the match with Thomas Austin, that looked so real, seemed so seamlessly done, that how could it possibly be a work? And you will excuse the many for not showing respect for the sanctity of that invisible line, but it's not like this vessel ever did either. We are not Legion Cole. The vessel known as Travis Cole was liberated from our grasp, and he is now a preacher with a family, children, a life, and no knowledge that we ever walked among him. Before we left, however, we asked that old man Cole what he'd have us do now that he had fulfilled his obligation to the many. And he told us to honor the pact that was made that day in the swamp between him and old Jack Arson. A pact that we had came to terms with that we were not going to honor, because Jack Arson, quite frankly, was a hot-headed, hostile, sadistic, pointless occupancy that the many had no use for. Travis Cole convinced the many that Jack Arson was worth a second look. He was worth us taking the time to watch a little closer just exactly what old Jack Arson was doing. Maybe, just maybe, he meant for the people to think the way he did about him. Because he needed that hatred, that vile feeling that you got when Jack Arson walks into your company. It just makes you sick to your stomach. And I tell you now, we saw what Travis was telling us, and we ourselves, for the first time in so many thousands of years, were truly impressed with what we saw. Because Travis was different. We took him by force. He had no choice in the matter. Jack Arson came to that swamp and begged us to give him just one of the 1,000. And we did. In the form of the Bayou Boots. When Legion Cole gave Jack Arson that move, it came with one of our own. And he knew, should he fulfill his end of the bargain and be ready when the time came, that we would come to him and give him strength untold. And we have delivered. But don't think that we have the same control over this vessel that we had over Legion Cole, because as much as we would like to be able to say that we could control Jack Arson, they can't. Now let me look at you in the face, IW, and let you know how it works when Jack Arson has the undead army behind him. These demons, they were my friends at one point in my life. I needed them to stay alive because I was in a point where I had no choice but to submit myself to forces of nature that are unexplained, ununderstandable, and useless. The Legion did nothing but evil. They drove me down a path of self-destruction. I nearly died because I believed in my mind that I was so vile, I was so useless that I needed to die. But now I look at the Legion as a group of subordinates. If I tell them to leave me, they will be gone at the snap of a finger because they hold no power over me like they did Travis. I'm here as Travis Cole's trigger-happy, hot-headed replacement, and I've got an army behind me, and I've got an army of demons, and I've got an army that stands alongside me, that is Invictus, that is Chaos, Chris Connolly, and Johnny Rotten. And the fact that I make your bones chill when I speak shows you just how foolish you were to think that I was ever at any point not in total control of every single piece of my story. Because no man tells me how to spin my story. I am Jack Arson, the commander of the Undead Legion. And we are many. And I have men that fight with me in the ring. And my Bayou Boot now comes with the force of all 1,000 of the demons that occupied Legion Cole. So if it hits you between the eyes, there's a chance that you could very well be demolished to the point where you never wrestle again. Because I ain't coming to play games. I'm coming to crack skulls. The Rumble is over, starting at number 10, because I'm standing there and waiting for Rocky T, and I'm going in the ring with the leader of the Black and Blue crew, and I'm gonna victimize him like he's never been victimized before. Rocky, heed my warning. Say what you will. Bring your Black and Blue crew. Go get anybody you want. Bring them with you. Bring them all. The Legion will fight alongside me, and all you bring will fall. So saith Legion, you've been warned.